Hello, 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 everybody. And welcome back. Oh, God, what happened here?
Story of my life.
Something? Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna turn them off for today. Because I have no clue what happened. The nameplates for all of you kind of just went and, like, did a whole turn and everything. I don't know what happened. I suspect I know what happened, but I don't know what happened. Alright. I'll have to fix that later. So, going over into Aranor. So, on the walk, on the traversal to Aranor, whilst you guys were all traveling along, Mason, as you turn your back, Fenrir and Nox disappear.
That usually normal for me.
Those darn forest folks probably climbed into some trees.
Probably buried in some holes. Some invisible holes.
The druid's probably some random bird. Never gonna find him now.
Caw!
They probably went to Mount Doom without me with those damn birds.
As if we would.
Do you keep traveling or do you stop and look for them?
Well, being a detective, that's not very common. So, would you like perception or would you like investigation for this one?
Let's go investigation.
Okay.
Rolled earlier, so everything should be working. It is.
That'd be a 14.
Okay. You see that there are tracks leading into a forest that is next to you. As you approach the forest, one of the locals stops you and goes, "Don't you know what that is?"
Pardon me. I'm kind of a bit of more of a city man, so I don't really go out to a forest too much. If you don't mind helping educate me real quick.
That's the enchanted covert. Anyone who goes in never returns. You best keep to the path.
So my compatriots suddenly disappeared, and their tracks go this away. So, is
Well,
this the safest path to go, or is there some other location I have to? I really need to find them. It is of great importance.
I suggest you follow the path to town and you wait for them there.
Is like town like a mile away? Just asking, like if my character can see
It's
where
like
this
half a
town
day.
is. Half a day. Ah, shit.
That's like 4 miles away.
Oh.
Wait, is it 10?
It's like
Might be
half a
closer
day.
to 10.
I'll check in the morning and just head towards the town just to be on the safer side.
So as you head through the town, you head towards your hometown, Aranor. And as you enter through, you remember all the great times you had with your first stop being Rose's Inn.
It's been a while since I've been to this little spots.
As you open the
As,
doors, the proprietor, Rosa, looks up and goes, "Why isn't this a surprise? How have you been, Mason?"
Been mighty fine, Rosa. Problem is, some compatriots of mine have kind of gotten themselves lost in a You said magical forest, was it?
Enchanted covert.
This enchanted covert, and well, they're very important. But I know if I go in, I'll be just as lost. So I'm gonna check to see if they're out by morning.
I enjoy that the super technological nation is the one with the southern drawl.
Why ain't that a tragedy?
That it is. That it is.
I'm loving it. Keep going.
Hey, I can only do Southern, okay?
I know you typically either do
I've
southern,
noticed most
southern
of
or
this
not
continent
southern,
is southern.
but you got like you took notes from the players and giving this entire region the same accent as them, which is very very fair. It's just funny that like when you put all the pieces together.
So I'm thinking, wait a minute.
Well, I have an excuse. I'm actually from the south, so.
And if you
That's
look
right.
at the whole
Nox is
map, this is technically the southern part of the map, so.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing
Nox is from
there's nothing
elsewhere,
to
that's
say
why
is,
he's got a
like,
different accent.
accents don't need to carry meaning. They can't just be fun. But I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, of all the countries to end up with a southern draw.
Yeah,
This
no.
was the
And I
one.
can't do a British accent, so sorry. I will more than likely offend people if I try to do that. Than not. Anywho, would you like to be staying the night then, or are you gonna go back to your home?
I'll just spend the night real quick. I got lots to think about, and, well, I'd rather be back with my compatriots as soon as possible.
Very well.
Aw.
Here's a key. And she passes you over a key.
I will take it and head to the room.
Alright. You go up to the room. The rest of the night is uneventful. You wake up the next morning and you can smell the fresh scent of bacon and eggs coming up from downstairs.
Is this where we
He's
find out he's a
definitely-
vegan?
Hell no. He's definitely gonna take a plate to go if possible, or at least quickly, eat as quick as possible, and then get back to his compatriots. Because, yeah, fighting possible, whatever, in an enchanted grove on an empty stomach would be pretty bad.
Words to live by.
Ultimate twist. Fenrir only eats things he kills.
Oh,
Oh,
whilst
no,
I
that would be
have
twisted.
you, your mentor stopped by last night. She wishes to speak
She
to you.
did.
She didn't waste any time figuring out you were in town.
I bet you came
no.
yesterday and said like, my servant will be here, or my student will be here tomorrow morning. Please send them off to my way.
It's like, wow, she really does teach detective shit.
Yeah, knowing her, she'd probably plan a week ahead, be like, he's gonna come at this time, and you know what? He's gonna be tired, so make sure he rests up so I can see him in the morning.
And he's going to be looking for people.
Fun.
Well, maybe if I'm, you said a half day try. Yeah, no, I'm probably best go meet up with my teacher, so don't get her too upset. Besides, knowing her, it'll probably be quick.
Oh, I don't know about that. She was in kind of a rush when she came, and was in a very great deal of a hurry to return.
Yeah, Mason's look very conflicted, but he'll probably just go see Lady Aerodeth first.
Alrighty.
He knows at least Fenrir and Nox can, take care of themselves, really.
So as you do, you go down.
We are the
one
fighters of the
street,
group.
And when you get to the door of death, you see the oh
door of
familiar Grim Reapers with their scythes in hand, looking down upon all those who enter and exit, moving their heads and watching the crowds go back and forth.
Are they made of stone?
Yes.
Okay.
My character is just kind of like, just tips his hat towards both of them, kind of like, hey
Yeah.
Tim, hey Tom, see anything funny? Not really expecting an
They
answer.
do
just
not
have fun.
respond. They just
Yeah, he knows.
they just stare intently and just watch as you pass through the gate. Something other of note, you have never seen their face. The hood has always covered the facial area with a great deal of shadow. No matter where they look, no matter how much light you shine up at them, you will never see the face of them. And you go
Yep.
down
Back to
into
home.
the land of death. As you go down the street, you are flagged down by someone in front of the She Inn. I think I pronounced that wrong.
Is she in?
I think I spelled that wrong. Give me a minute. Or said that wrong.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm just writing it down.
Let me just... It is... Nope. I think it was... Yeah.
She?
Yeah, she. The She Inn.
Do I recognize who's flagging me over?
No, you do not. But they are wearing attire which you do recognize, since you were forced to wear that same attire when you were studying under Lady Zaradeth.
He's gonna walk on over, kind of give a quick tip of his hat. Morning to you. Can I help you?
Morning. Zaradeth is waiting for you. In the inn.
I figured. Recognize that garb.
Yes, she said you would. Please come.
Alright. He's following behind.
As you walk in, you see the proprietor. A ghostly figure. As she looks over to you, she goes, "Ah, welcome back."
But he gives a courteous bow. Pleasure to always to be back.
Very much so. Make sure not to climb the wall again, like you did as a child.
If I did that, I think I'd cause more destruction this time than back then.
Probably. You were always the mischievous child, if memory serves me right.
Oh yeah, always wanting to learn anything and everything, and see how things tick or how things break.
Glad to see you've matured a bit.
Debatable, but if it's coming from you, I'll take that as a guarantee.
Miss Zaradeth is on the 3rd floor.
Thanks again. He taps his hat and heads up to the 3rd floor.
As you go up, and you enter into Miss Zaradeth's room, you see a somewhat crude sight. The bed is off into the corner, and in the center of the room is a chair with a man tied to it. You do not see her immediately, but as you enter, she slams the door shut behind you.
Is the man like tied, like sitting down, arms to each side, or is he like
He is
handcuffed to the chair standing?
so the chair has no like armrest to it, so it's behind, and then each leg is tied to a leg of the chair.
Okay.
His waist is also tied down, so that he can't just easily kind of get up or move
Okay.
his hips.
Yeah,
Is he,
seeing
like,
this,
gagged or
Mason would
otherwise
probably.
unconscious?
Go ahead, Mason.
Yeah, so Mason probably would be more surprised at the man, but the door shutting, he wouldn't be too. He'd probably get used to like stuff like that happening to the point. But he kind of like is looking around to see like where his master is.
Behind you.
He just gives a deep bow and is like, "A lady," not like the stereotypical,
Were you
but
followed?
just the proper. Yeah. No. I do have some compatriots that I may need to attend to
They will
after
come.
this.
They
Okay.
will be here shortly, in a couple of days. Don't worry about it. But were you followed?
He just shakes his head. No. No.
Are you sure about that?
He's like taking pause, like worried, but he just still shakes his head. I'm pretty
She
sure
looks
not.
stressed. Like, you really don't need to roll anything for this. She looks stressed.
Lady Aerodeth, is everything fine?
Everything is not okay. I'm glad you weren't followed, and I hope you really didn't miss anything. As for who our gentleman here is, I forgot to mention, he is blindfolded, and he has sort of
Subtle
stuff
detail.
like in his ears and like over his ears, so he can't really hear. She goes, "This man, someone you will need to interrogate. It's very difficult getting him. I hope the cat lady knows what she's doing. How have you been?"
Well, to be honest, I thought I was just gonna get a simple mission. A little something from a spirits, but I've kind of gotten my head a lot
Oh.
deeper down the creek than expected.
Don't worry about that. This involves the spirit. A very dangerous one. So, I wouldn't worry your pretty face about that. But we will need your compatriots to actually interrogate him. But like I said, do not worry. They'll be here in a couple of days.
All right. Before I forget, he actually goes into like his breast pocket and pulls out the book that he got about the silver dagger. Was it that ledger that has like the different like spells and stuff?
Mhm.
I acquired this on my little adventure, and think it'd be better kept in your safekeepings.
She takes the book from your hand and she opens it and flips through a couple pages and goes, "I see why you would think that, but I'm afraid this..." As she goes through it, she like smells the book and she goes, "I'm afraid this is only a copy."
Aren't most books copies?
Although, I can see that, yes, the there are spells preventing you from burning it, which doesn't really surprise me given their history. You said this was from the Silver Dagger?
Correct.
Yes.
So, he will describe the monstrosity. We said it was the Bone Devil, right?
Yes. It looked like a bone devil.
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
Mason
actually.
probably.
It was a souped up bone devil that I modified, but it looked
Yeah.
like a bone devil.
He'll basically describe like that Bone Devil creature that he and his compatriots fought, and how it basically used some of the techniques from this book to help disguise itself.
Interesting. Well, yes, what they have here is very crude, but it can be used for such purposes. What they use it for is a different purpose. These types of magic circles and rituals, these ones take the user's input. They are somewhat sentient in the fact that they will look into your mind and what your intentions are. Because of the fact that they are such vague rituals that do a great deal of things, they have a sentience within them that is able to peer into your mind and see what your intention is. For the Silver Dagger, the intention is to wipe out their scent, make it so that they have no traces, so that when they hunt the wolves whom they hunt, who they kill, they will not see it, they will not smell it coming. But for someone like a bone devil, they can take on the appearance of ones who the blood fuels. Very interesting indeed. Although they say it must use werewolf blood, but I do not believe that is the case.
So this book is more versatile than we
Not-
initially assumed.
I wouldn't say the book itself. The book itself is filled with all types of... It's sort of a bestiary, in a way. Creatures that are dangerous, that they deem should be killed on sight. Describing actions, describing different things, but it also has rituals and potions and things which you can make to aid your effort in killing them. It's more of a guidebook, if anything, but it is very interesting. This was definitely more of a copy that was done through magic than an actual handwritten telling. So there's really no way to know how many of these are there. There's probably one per chapter. If I remember correctly, I believe our chapter for them is nearby. Yes, we have two. In the capital and in the west. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, that the west's chapter is within this city. Although the living part, they would never venture into this place.
Or if you would. Or at least the he's the ones that know what they're getting themselves into.
I will warn you, I do know that you have a wolf among you.
Yes, that's another reason why we wanted to put this book away in safer hands, so
They
that could
probably
be...
already have a book, but I will warn you that this place has spies everywhere for the Silver Dagger. This is one of their headquarters, after all. Although you wouldn't know that from outside eyes. They've only just established the second branch. It was shortly after you left. But like I
God
said,
damn it.
within the land of Limbo, they will not enter.
And I'll be as careful guiding them towards here as I can, because dealing with them, it's not going to be fun.
No. On the date that I predict that they will arrive, your compatriots, you will meet them outside town. You must warn him of this fact and suitably disguise yourselves.
Alright. Lady Aerodeth.
Yeah.
This issue that we're dealing with, me and my compatriots, is it the same as he kind of like motions to the bound up man? Is this involved in the same issue? One I sent you in my letter?
It does and it doesn't. He will have information that will be pertinent to your mission that you have set yourself for. But it will also have information pertinent to myself. After I gain this information, I must travel upon the invisible veil again.
Alright. Would it be better for me to stay at Rosa's, or should I stay in Europe? Stay inside the limbo, or back in my house apartment.
If you wish to go back to your apartment, that will be no trouble. I will send my new aide to fetch you when it is time for them to arrive. You may stay wherever you wish. I will be in town for a while until this is completed.
Alright, I'll be in my apartment for a bit.
Very well. As you enter your apartment, it's been a while since you've been to your apartment. The books, the desks, the bed, all caked in dust. As you enter the room, the door pushes forth a bunch of mail that has been piling up for some time.
He's gonna just lightly curse to himself, pick up the papers, do a quick dusting because it's unbearable living with something like that, then just start gingerly reading through the mail, see if he's got any cases or like what's your bills, which is just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Anything catching his eye?
No, a lot of it's like stuff. There is one payment due for like utilities for like water and for rent, but nothing else.
Do these cities have plumbing?
This building does.
Gosh.
You got a fancy building.
Advanced civilizations.
Yeah, Yeah, he'll probably just take care of that stuff and just wait for his compatriots on the specific day. Just do light stuff.
I'm sure we're fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh no, everything went wrong.
Oh no, Fenrir died on the way here.
And got reincarnated as a goblin.
Oh no, I'm just gonna refresh this really quickly. Because I added a marker for your apartment. Alright. So, you wait for days, and you get a knock upon your door.
He opens it up. Is it time?
Yes. Lady Zero Death told me to tell you to, wait for them outside town.
Alright. As he'll head out to the entrance of the town.
Pass through the gate of life, still staring at you.
Later, Tim. Later, Eric.
Go out to the town. After a couple hours, Nox, Fenrir, you see a familiar figure waiting above on the road.
Ah, there he went.
I can say the thing for
Girl
you
just
all.
call out and yell, Mason!
Fenrir! Nox! Good to see you're still alive.
They took us for quite a long walk.
Yeah, literally, I turned away for 5 seconds and y'all disappeared on me.
It wasn't exactly our choice.
Finra's gonna like just whisper over to Nox. He's like, actually, I think at that point it was just entirely our choice.
Well, gonna point down to like where his, my hometown's down over here.
As he points, you see a well-built-up town, and you see a great walled-in, like, slum area. And when I say slum, I mean, like, super slummy. Like, some of them don't even have roofs to the buildings.
He does get a bit closer. Be on your guard, though. There's spies within. Silver Dagger spies. They came when I left on my little adventure to meet up with y'all.
Nox's
Do they
eyes would
expect
narrow
anything?
a little bit.
More than usual?
Well, my master told me you need to be extra careful. Now, we just need to get past the slums, and once we get through the doors, we're completely safe.
No, you need to get through the
Alright.
town.
The town, my bad.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Fenrir is going to take the literal rags that he is wearing and fashion one up like a hood. He's done this before, but he like is like, okay, ready, and he has this flawless disguise of still wearing rags and carrying very large weapons. Obviously
Mason
not
just-
a werewolf, guys.
Mason just gives a small thumbs up.
Nox just has his humanizing crystal thing. He's all content with his disguise.
Flawless disguise. Jesus.
Alright. I guess we're just gonna head through town.
Alright.
I guess
as-
Fenrir might suggest is like, Perhaps we stay to less traveled roads, unless you think that would be too suspicious.
Suspicious.
As you go
yeah,
through, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as long as we don't stick out like too much like sore thumbs, we should probably be fine with the main road. Just keep your eyes open.
Finnerow shrug. All right.
As you go through, you pass through an inn, you pass through a library, you pass through a nice little bakery. Up.
Wait, we had to walk
to-
through the bakery?
You pass by the bakery. Do you want to go in the bakery?
Okay. I imagined that it was actually in the way and we had to walk through the building to get to the other side of town or something.
Nope. You just pass by it. And then you
passed
go
through the
up
bakery.
to the doors of death. And you see the two stone statues moving and staring at people, scythes in hand, mountainless, at a mountain of a height.
Hello there, Bill. Hello there, Bob. Just tips his hat to both of them.
What kind of names are those?
Oh, they don't have names. I just have a little bit of fun.
Strange names. Is this some Temple of Ka? Or, I don't even remember the name.
Just the door to my home.
As you enter, I didn't describe the sky before, but as you enter, the sky that was once blue switches over to a deep darkness. But it is not dark. You can see perfectly fine, but the sky is as black as night.
Welcome, to my humble abode. Just like motions towards it everywhere.
I've been in a lot of horrifying places. This is unnerving.
You get used to it when you live your whole life here.
What compared
like it.
to when you looked up on the hill and saw the slums is completely different. It is as if you switched into a new realm. These buildings look brand new. Clean streets, not a piece of rubble in sight. And people living and working all around you.
When I first walked up, the city seemed approachable, but now it seems more like the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, as much as I'd love to give y'all the tour, we actually gotta go meet my master first. He's got a task for
We're
us.
expected.
Oh
I mean-
yes, he expected you guys to appear by the hill a few days ago. I actually came here a bit early.
I want to, like, just out of character, like, set up what we were doing. Like, we expect her to have expected us because this was where we were going, and Mason got there ahead of us. So even if they didn't know, Mason could have told them. And then
Yeah, but it's
we
the
were
fact
here.
that, like,
ahead.
I would expected him to have expected us. I wouldn't have expected her to have expected us.
Oh sure, but he's had half a week to tell her that we're coming, or at least tell her that he would suspect that we're probably coming. And the goal of coming here is information. We were going to give her the book and ask where to go next. I think was the original plan.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
So I guess Finra will just follow up. Did she already tell you about where we should go next and our goals?
Well, he's got a task for us that'll actually help kind of point us in the way. It's kind of a bit of gathering information.
All right. We've picked up a task or two in our detour as well. Hopefully they will fit well together.
Alright.
as you finish discussing around the gate of life, you see the aide approach, and he goes, "Be careful. Someone is watching." And he goes out of the gate of life.
Can I do a perception check?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose Nox would too, to be fair.
Yeah, did
if
we
were
hear
being
that?
watched.
Like,
That is
It
a
was
25.
quiet, but it was like enough for you all to hear as he kind of just passes by.
it was
no
meant
break
for us,
saying
not.
it.
Yeah.
So as you all look around, Mason is the only person to spot a figure around a building who is keeping an eye out over you guys.
Mason's gonna like kind of whisperly / kind of point out like we are being watched.
Nox would just nod subtly.
And make sure we're not followed, y'all.
Oh.
Do you want
Alright.
to split up?
Fenrir
I
seems
wouldn't
somewhat worried, but
I wouldn't recommend. To be honest, since you all are kind of new to the spots, I'm your best guide around here. You're just gonna have to follow my lead with this one.
Where are you going to take them?
I guess I'll try to like circle around my apartment complex and make sure like we could possibly lose them.
So as you go that way, you kind of intentionally turn into the street in which you saw him, and you kind of go towards them, not really paying attention to who's there, but kind of go and you duck into your apartment complex for a while. When you think that they believe that you are still in there, you lead them through a back door that leads you out into a small little courtyard, and then back out into an alleyway that goes through the main road, and you enter in to the inn.
I think we lost them. I think we're safe now.
good.
The master wants to make sure we don't get followed. So, I'm gonna take. Can I do one more perception just to make sure we're good?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I? Okay. All right. 18 this time.
Nox, are you gonna roll too?
I mean, I can do, but I'm not used to being out-perceptioned. Aha! Take that!
Can you guys just hop
Here,
back
get
and
a
forth?
perception the one time I ask. You all look around, you confirm, yes, you gave them the slip.
Again, he just does the subtle nod. While looking completely disinterested in everything around him.
Alright, we're all good then.
As
Head on.
you go in and you go up into the apartment, the room's been changed drastically. Where the bed was once in the corner, the bed is now taken apart and parts of it are placed together on the corner. The person who is in the center is now pushed back a little further. Candles and salt lines line the floor. And as you all enter, she slams the door behind you and goes,
Fenrir will
"Were
literally
you
jump.
followed?"
We were, but we got this.
Not this far.
Hold up 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Need to check on my roommate real quick.
So how's everyone's day been? As we wait for Mason really quickly.
Been a good
Long.
one.
Knox.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll
There
ask
we
you
go.
later, Knox. Very off
Okay.
topic
Important.
question.
Yeah. So Mason will basically say, we were at first, but we lost them.
Good. Alright. I've set it up as it needs to be. Everyone, place yourselves. Knox in the center.
Nox would frown and sort of look at them and say, "What exactly do you have planned?"
Well, to get the information we need, you'll have to peer deep into this individual's mind. However, we have no access to his mind since he's currently possessed by a spirit. We will need to exorcise the spirit first and then go
Claim
into
information?
additional areas.
Yeah, we've literally just stepped into this room. There's like
Mason forgot to
Salt
mention the
circles
guy
and-
we were going to interrogate.
the last time Nox saw a salt circle was someone drawing blood out of people.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
Fender
worry.
was kinda-
No blood's involved.
Maybe you can
I take it you need
describe
me to
the
get some
situation a tad bit more before we start
Well,
dealing
Knox,
with magics.
how are you most familiar with your abilities?
I don't understand.
Your abilities to go into the mind of people. How versed are you in this art and in this ability?
I've certainly got to grips with it over the recent months.
Yes, but what do you know about it? What are the extents of your abilities you're able to perform?
Well, I know I can cause a great deal of damage if I'm not careful, and I can dig through people's minds if I must. It's usually easier if it's done in a relaxed way rather than forcefully, but I can do it both.
Oh, trust me, I gave him a sedative. He's out. He will be relaxed. Although, the spirit inside is still stirring.
And who is
I've
he?
not dealt with a possessed one before.
You don't need to worry about who he is. More that he's witnessed what you need to know. Nox, your abilities are quite unique in that you are able to do it because of your... how should I say... connection with the Stone of the Mind.
Nox would look slightly off balance at that, and then he would narrow his eyes considerably and say, "You know much of what you shouldn't."
I am one of the mortal gods. I know a great deal.
During this, Uller is gonna be like, kinda pinching his forehead and doing a little silent prayer to Uller, being like, quick description of the of the situation, and just, is this trustworthy? Who the heck is this?
You get a good feeling.
Okay, cool.
And she continues, I am a mortal god, you know. I know a great deal. I know even more than what I've said. But what you do not know is that I possess somewhat of the same ability as you do. Although I must be invited in, whereas you can just willingly go straight in.
Indeed.
I would call that unwillingly.
For them,
Well,
not
whether they're
me.
willing or not, he can go in. I must be allowed in. And right now, the spirit controls this mind, not letting anyone in.
Alright, well this is fast, but I suppose I'm for it.
Yes, you
Noct
two
would
will
just look
also
at-
be entering.
Alright, what?
That would also surprise Nox.
Yes, you might not know, but you can take other people in. But there must be the right conditions. Conditions which I have set up.
Nox would instantly start trying to memorize everything in the room.
So,
What kind of conditions?
the room. It's a normal square room. There is a salt circle in the center of the room. The person is on the north part of the circle. The person in the chair, tied up, is sitting. He has a smaller circle around him. There are 3 circles, sort of a little off-center towards the south side. 3 circles. Outside of the circle are candles, placed in specific locations. You will learn their purpose when you step into the smaller circles. She continues. Yes, you are. Unfortunately, Fenrir, you will have to be touched.
Just warn me.
Well, this is your warning.
Good.
And I
Thank
won't
you.
be doing the touching.
The amount of
Nox will.
people that just touch me without permission. God.
Nox will be doing the touching. I will not be. I will be here protecting the room and protecting your bodies. Do you have any questions?
Millions, but...
And
suppose we'll
ask
save it to
away
him.
quickly.
I was not joking. I have a lot. Let's just do this.
Ask away quickly.
He's not going to ask any questions.
Okay. Anyways, oh, Mason. The Enchantress was sorry to not see you in her grove as she saw your companions here. She brought me something before she left. It was a couple days ago, and I knew you were
She meet us
returning,
here?
so I would give it to you then. Where is it? And she rummages through, and she gives you and I forget what I gave you to. I know I gave Nock something specific.
I got the bow.
Yes,
I
you
got the bow, the flaming bow.
the flaming bow. You got warning. So
Yeah.
he got. You mostly use your rapier, right?
Yeah.
Pokey poke.
So
Stab stab.
he
Sticking with the pointy end.
Fencing's
Gets-
really fun, guys.
she takes it and it's kind of wrapped in cloth, and she goes, "Be careful. I know I don't need to teach you how to close your mind. You've known how to do that for a while, but this object is cursed with a spirit, so I will warn you. As you unwrap it, you have the Rapier of Vengeance."
Wait, is that is the one? Is that the +1 weapon with a downside?
Yes, that's the one with the curse.
Okay.
I will
Right.
say, until you... What the hell?
Please let her say that in person.
I'm sorry, just give me 1 second because, that is impossible. I have
Is-
a good couple of terabytes left before this thing is filled.
I understand.
I
just-
don't. I'm sorry. I just got a warning from it saying that there's no space left when I have 4.28 gigabytes left
Yeah.
of space. So I'm very confused as to what the hell just happened because OBS just went, "No recording anymore," and I went, "Why?" So give me just 1 second.
Yeah, just talking to the other players. I can absolutely picture her like mid-explanation going like, what the hell?
Okay, the recording is fine now. I don't understand.
While Fenrir is in the corner, just like using the salt from the circles, sprinkling it on his food, just like.
As Mason's like,
Nah,
"Don't-
he got a good feeling from Uller, so he's gonna go stand in the circle.
Yeah. I think the disc may have just did an error and
Locations can cause lots of errors.
well,
like,
no.
there's no space.
Because I have an external drive connected to my computer, which I record on, and that's what caused the error. And it just like I don't know.
All right,
Anyways,
got it
we
fixed
can
now?
continue now. Yes, that is the rapier with the curse. It is possessed by a vengeful spirit. When you attune to it, the curse extends to you.
You want an hour to attune to it right now?
Mason would probably be like, as
I'm
much
assuming-
as like, I'd rather not take an hour. I think I'd rather just get to this whole exorcism first.
Thing is, if you've been in this town for like half a week, you would have been given this earlier.
No.
Oh yeah,
I
you
doubt
could
it.
have.
She said it before. She said it before that she was given it a while ago, but she knew you were coming back, so she didn't feel like the need to go out of her way to go give it to you when she knew you were coming.
Right.
Would you like an hour to tune to it?
There's no time.
Personally,
She stops
Yeah.
you. And she's like, "There's no time." Honestly,
It's
I
fine. We
wouldn't
don't
even
plan to
attune
stab
to
the
it.
guy.
Anyways,
You never know that until later.
we got to get on. Nox in the center circle. Mason to the right or the left. Fenrir to the right or the left. It doesn't matter which you two get placed into.
Fenrir will walk to
take
the
it.
far one.
You take left, he takes right. As
Sure.
Nox, now as you are in the circle, you realize that what the candle's purposes is for your shadows. As your shadow is elongated along towards the wall, their shadows intersect and intertwine with your own shadow. And she goes, "All right, Nox, very simple, very quite simple. You are going to take both Mason and Fenrir's, the scruffs of their necks, and just hold on to them."
Nox would raise an eyebrow, but grin slightly. And sort of do one of them little, sure, shrugs.
Go on, right on to the back of the neck.
Yep.
Give it a little squeeze if you feel the necessary need to.
That he would shoot her a look.
It's not necessary. The physical contact is what's needed. Now, this is
He's
going
also
to be a
aware
bit
that
of
he
a
has very
strain
sharp
upon you. So, if you feel tired or if you feel faint, everything will be stopped and we'll have to try again. So, you should be fine.
Don't underestimate.
But just in case. Anyways, alrighty. What we need you to do now is to direct however you convene with him. I've heard it's through the shadow, but I'm not sure.
Nox would close his eyes and sort of rest his hand on the back of each of the other two's necks. Take a few deep breaths and then
Fenrir Mason, his hands are slightly cold.
he would
I got warning, it's fine.
suddenly open his eyes, sort of glaring straight at the target.
As you do so,
Mr. No
your-
Face.
all of your shadows intertwine, and as they sort of intertwine, you slightly see, looking down, you both, as it approaches the target, you can see it kind of like turn, as if it's taking the both of you with it, and when it connects, you shift into the mind. I created a whole new scene for this. I now have a dedicated scene for when you go into people's minds, Nox.
Say that again, sorry?
A scene?
In OBS, I have a dedicated scene for when you go into people's minds.
Oh.
Yes, very fancy.
What's it look like?
So I have a GIF of like smoke floating around, just constantly going, and then I have the rolls, and I have us, a little bit bigger, in the center of the screen, as smoke goes all around us. As you enter the mind, you awaken. Fenrir, you are all in the same room, mind you. Fenrir, as you open your eyes, you are chained. Hands bound above your head to a wall. Your waist, your torso also chained to the wall. And your legs in a position more of kneeling and chained to the floor. As you look around, you see Nox and Mason both restrained to a bed with the 5-point restrainment system. So if you know what that is, basically it's restraints to your neck, your arms, and your legs all tied down very tightly so that you can't move basically at all.
Are mine also tight?
Yes.
Okay. Is this mental rules the same as last time?
I'm taking your advice with psychic damage this time.
Oh, I mean,
Shouldn't have given me that.
oh no, I definitely think it should be psychic damage. But I mean, if this is like the last time Fenrir was in a mental place.
Not entirely. No.
It's a little flavor thing that, depending on how this works, might fit. Every time you look back at Fenrir, he's at a different transformation stage.
And the bindings hold. As
Yeah,
you
yeah. I don't
struggle-
expect those to break, but a funny part about this is that Fenrir would not seem to notice these changes. It's just kind of like they're all interchangeable.
What you do notice, though, is as you're struggling, the shackles, it looks as though... Have you ever seen, like... How can I describe this? It's kind of like skin, like when you get like a sunburn, when your skin starts to like peel off, and like the flakes of skin are like falling down. It's kind of like that, where as you're doing this against these chains, the metal itself is doing that. And you are going to take... Where is dice? There we go.
Yeah, I suppose like as soon as he got in there, like as you guys look away
gonna
and look
take
back, Fenrir would be at different
2
forms. But
points
he's
of
been
psychic
like yelled.
damage as they shave off and reveal that they were coated and that they're really made out of silver.
Blasted chains. Why is it always binding?
Nox, Mason, do you want to do anything?
Nox
They're both
would still be-
restrained to a bed. Not able
Yeah,
to
Nox
move.
would stay very relaxed, but because he knows it's not physical, but at the same time he would be very surprised because he's never not been in control when he's gone into someone's mind.
Could Mason try like Mage Hand, see if he could untie himself?
I believe.
Does it have somatic components?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not all spells do, but does it have somatic components?
Yes, it does.
I
Okay,
don't
that
believe
means you need to be able to
can.
freely move your hands to use it.
No, because his hands, well,
No,
he's restrained at the
somatic
wrist.
components. Like you need to be able to like if you're tied up at the elbows, you can't freely move your hands.
Okay, well, it's at the wrists, is where it
Yeah.
is. So,
So like yeah, you're bound, so you can't do somatic components. There are some spells that don't have that.
Yeah, I know. Do I still have my familiar with me? The albino weasel.
you do not.
And he teleported to him. Normally can't.
Depends if the summoning thing requires somatic
So
component.
the summoning is not the ability. It would say in the spell what the ability requires.
Yeah, no, Mason doesn't have anything he can do. He's, well, we're in a pickle.
That does not do that.
I would try to break these off, but if there's any easier way before I do so.
Watching Fenrir shift, do the chains always stay the same size?
They mold to what the size he is. It's when he is shaking them and when he is like rattling them together, that's when the shavings come off.
Okay, well, Nox would... Obviously, in order to know that he was restrained, he would be moving slightly, sort of pulling against the restraints a little bit. And then he would see Fenrir sort of writhing about, trying to get out, and seeing that someone as strong as him isn't having any success.
I
So he
haven't
would
done a
just-
full-on like pull yet because a little bit of struggle hurt.
Yeah,
And,
but
yeah, I
the
was
fact
checking with
that-
you like, oh, should I do a full-on pull?
The fact that you're clearly stressed out, and even shifting isn't doing it. He's just sort of analyzing the situation, and he would. Does he think wild shaping would work in here?
It might not.
Because he's seeing that Fenrir is shifting between his forms. So
Fenrir
your
also-
guys'
Fenrir's not, like-
bindings are different. I forgot to mention this. Your guys' bindings are not made out of metal. You and Mason's.
okay.
Yours are more made out of more like a nylon material.
I would also mention Fenrir shifting is not like him shifting and the chains changing the complement. It's more like dream logic. They're all happening like equally.
They're all kind of overlapping.
Yeah.
Yep. When you say nylon, sorry, I work with nylon things. Are we talking nylon as in fabric nylon or nylon as in solid nylon?
I'm picturing like black
Give me
ropes.
1 second. Give me 1 second.
Because like you can have nuts and bolts made of nylon, which are very very solid, or you can have like fabric that's made of nylon, which is
Look in the
obviously-
general chat. In the bindings that she has is sort of the idea.
Straps.
Okie dokie.
So that's more of the idea of it.
And there doesn't feel like there's any magic involved in ours.
Nope.
Like there is. Okay, cool. In that case, I mean, I still can't use somatic components to use magic to get out, but
Misty Step has only verbal components.
Huh?
I'm not sure if any of you have Misty Step, but that was my first thought.
No, Misty Step's
no.
not generally a druid spell. Ooh.
And yeah, Mason does not have that spell.
In his mind, can he call out to his familiar, his fiery bird?
Yes, you can.
Alrighty then. In that case, how close are me? How close am I to Mason and to Fenrir?
So Fenrir is against the wall. There's a slight walkway between the two of you. But Fenrir is like against the wall, like at your feet.
Like 15 feet away.
I would say closer than that. More
Okay.
like 5. More like 10.
Okay. And Mason?
You're both attached to the same bed.
Well, I didn't know if it was the same bed or if it was two different ones.
No, they're two different beds.
Oh, okay.
So, how far?
Maybe like 2 foot next to each other. They're like next to each other. There's like a
Okay,
small
cool.
walkway where you can walk in between them, but that's about it.
Right, in that case, Nox is going to call to his wildfire spirit, have it appear between the two beds, and then he's going to just look at it and say, "Get us out of this mess." And it would activate
What
fiery
form does
teleportation.
it take?
Oh, it's is it Red Tail Hawk?
Okay.
Yeah.
It flies
basically
up
what Jack
and
was.
lands upon your chest as you tell it its command. And it opens its beak and goes right for your neck and snaps the one at your neck.
That's not what I told it to do.
He expected it to
snapped at the
teleport away
restraint.
and then the fires to do it.
Yeah. But fire is hot and can hurt, and
No.
It can't hurt allies.
He has the ability fiery teleportation.
mm-hmm.
The
I don't.
spirit and each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet of it teleport up to 15 feet into an unoccupied space.
Oh.
that.
Okay.
Teleporting them out of it.
Yep, so it would literally take me and Mason out of our shackles to freedom.
Freedom!
Short distance teleports. So good.
Yeah. That's what I meant when I said get us out of this mess.
Okay. I'm just looking. You do. Okay.
You never cease to surprise me, Druid.
Alright. You do so, and you and Mason are both standing in front of Fenrir, who is still chained to the wall.
It would be quite the
the name of
surprise to see Keck show up.
So, after Nox has got himself and Mason out, he would assess the chains on Fenrir, and if they have locks, he would probably leave them to Mason.
Fenrir, are you still struggling?
Less if they're like.
There would have been a
successfully
big
breaking out.
flash of like a fiery explosion as they teleported, so it wouldn't have been soul. I don't do soul.
Alrighty.
I'm sure if it looked like Fenrir would have actually freaked out
Yeah.
at that,
Go
Nox
ahead and
would have
take
given
3
him
more
at least the
damage for
slightest
me.
bit of warning.
Of psychological damage. They do not have locks.
Okay, in that case, he is going to the old not faithful. Primal savagery.
Why not just do
He
the
would
same
extend
thing?
his claws and say to Fenrir, "Hold still for a moment." And he would slash at the manacles and the bindings.
Fenrir stands there unable to move and just says,
Ching,
funny.
ching, and they come apart. And you are free.
Ah,
As that happens, the door next to Fenrir creaks open slightly.
I would like to point out this isn't the usual welcome I get when I come to such places.
will it all be new to me? You think we're just supposed to go the way it tells us?
Friend,
Or
if you
did
got another plan, I am all ears.
I would say just be vigilant knowing that we're up against a hostile entity here. I've never really had to fight my way through someone's mind like this. They're not usually prepared and they don't usually know how to defend it.
Even when it came to that bone devil fella.
He thought he was smart, but he was easily distracted.
Well, if we need to worry about traps and ambushes, I'll go first then.
As Fenrir goes through the door slams shut, and another door on the left side of the room creaks open.
How many doors are there?
3.
Oh, who saw that coming? Are there any distinctive markings on the doors?
Nope.
I'm gonna just scratch one of the doors that I'm nearest right now.
You are out of the room.
Oh, what?
You went through the door.
Okay. When I walk through. Okay. Not
Oh,
when,
I thought
not when
he,
I walk
when
up
he
to
approached the door.
Nope.
Okay.
He walked through it and it shut behind
it.
him.
Okay, yeah. I also heard. I approach it and it's like, no, bad.
Sorry.
No, Fenrir.
I wasn't clear
Someone
enough.
else.
So Nox would then look at Mason and then say, perhaps we should try the next one at the same time.
Good idea.
Nox would sort of shout through to Fenrir, hoping he could hear him, and just say, be careful, we're on our way. And he would head with Mason over to the other door.
As you go through the door, it blasts Mason back. Taking 1 point of psychic damage. And the door slams behind you, Nox.
Nox would just roll his eyes.
God damn it. Mason just calls out in frustration.
As you
Oh,
open
no,
your
he
eyes,
stepped on
you're
a
in a
tic-tac.
new place. Mason. You are in
Does it
front
look
of an
like-
entity, and the entity is studying you. Its face is wrapped in bandages, and its clothing, he is dressed in a formal suit attire, and he looks at you and goes, "Your mind is closed. Why?"
When you've dealt around with spirits a lot, you know who to let in, who to let out, and keep out.
Then you are the most dangerous. And he snaps his fingers, and he disappears, and you are left within this inky black void of nothingness.
Yeah, make like a tree and get out of here.
Fenrir,
Sure, that's how
after
the
you
saying-
exit the door, and it slams, as you turn back around from the door, what you see is a hallway lined with cells. Creatures within the cells, slashed, beaten, hurt, all cowering in the backs of each of the cells. You look on, and there are tons of cells in front of you. As you
They'll
move
just, like-
forward, you hit a gate. When you reach to touch the gate, it burns. And you take 1 point of psychic damage.
I'm gonna
As in,
argue against that because I made no decisions in this whole sequence.
do you want to touch it? It
I just,
holds the way forward.
Oh, I just mean like you don't like if you're gonna do damage, don't do it as part of a cutscene. You can say it hurts.
Sorry.
Just don't as part of a like yeah.
Okay, then we'll take away that damage for it. You touch it, it hurts. And as you look to your left, there is a path forward. Do you take it?
He'll just be kind of cursing to Uller to himself. It doesn't like you said they were like just bars.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just indescribed hallways? Not much else.
It looks more like a prison.
Okay, but like the way that I touched with like the bars, that was just that was another cell, not a
No,
hallway
that was
forward.
a physical like gateway blocking your path forward. There's more hallway to go, but there was a gate like blocking off one section from another.
Like, well, might as well try not to be entirely of a willing participant. Take out his nice new sword and see if he can give a good swing through the bars.
It ding,
I mean, that's what metal would do, but
and it doesn't leave a scratch.
fine. The beasts seem nondescript and dreamlike,
Yes,
I presume.
very
Okay, yeah, so
nondescript.
He'll just go down. He'll just continue then.
As you continue, you hit a cross section. A path to a door. A path going forward, or a path to your right.
Any more descriptions than that?
Nope. The forward and the left look more like what you've seen before. The door, however, looks more like the door you entered. Wooden, not made of metal. It looks out of place.
He'll kind of throw open the door with a dodge, just like basically imagining arrows are gonna come shooting through or something like that.
As you open the door, you are unnaturally pushed forward and the door slams behind you. In front of you is Nox, with his throat slashed out, rips and claw marks across his entire body. And as you look down at your hands, you see blood covering them.
Now I see the trauma part.
Nox. Wait, Fenrir. Do you cry out in any way, given the feeling that you've just murdered someone? Someone who you sort of maybe liked?
Things, would he have any of the rush or anything of having, like, been in combat or attacked or, like, all those primal feelings that I would imagine a werewolf would associate with ripping someone to pieces?
Was that a question for me or for him?
Well,
Well, it's a question for you because I can't know what I feel.
yeah, because I mean, just going from a general
I would
perspective.
say yes. You do feel that rush.
Okay, so
Okay.
dream logic, even though this kind of doesn't make sense, it feels like it makes sense.
Exactly. It feels real. It feels like you just did it.
He's gonna have a complex set of emotions that will formulate into just cursing, like loud speaking voice.
Nox. We're gonna switch over to you then. Nox, as you go down your path, what you see is not of cells, but of more of a dark hallway lined with like curling paint, the smell of like mold in the air. As you go forward, you feel very uneasy as you have no control over anything that's happening. As you get to a certain point, the wall shifts back forward and the path in front of you blocks off. And now to your right is a door.
Was it there before?
Well, the wall slid open
Okay.
and then blocked your path forward.
I think he would just follow whatever path sort of opened for him, but he would do it warily, given the welcome we've received.
As you enter, you see the sight of Fenrir covered in blood, huffing and puffing, cursing to himself, and you, ripped to shreds against the wall. Guts spewing out, claw marks everywhere, throat slit.
Just to add a little bit more fun to it, I think he'll, after getting past that point, he'll like rub his face, which has the expected effect, and he'll like start chuckling like he can't quite control it.
You enter at this point where he is chuckling. As you enter, the door slams behind you, and Fenrir is just chuckling to himself, mad in laughter.
Do there appear to be any, other than the blood on Fenrir, do there appear to be any illusions of any injuries on him?
No.
Nox would just sort of walk over and sort of almost in a macabre kind of way, sort of inspect the damage on his fake self. Sort of disregarding Fenrir for a moment. And then he'd look over at Fenrir and say, I mean, it's efficient, but if you really tried that, you'd come off a lot worse. You do realize that, right?
I assume that this is happening, DM. The trouble with dream sequences.
It's happening. He's
Okay, cool.
talking to you.
He'll like kinda jump a little bit as Nox walks behind, and it's like, Ah, good, you're not dead. I usually don't get to eat my cake and have it too.
Nox would raise an eyebrow and grin slightly at that, and then he'd sort of just poke a finger into the middle of Fenrir's forehead, and just try and just clear the confusion that this place is trying to inflict upon him.
As you touch his forehead and you attempt to do that, you hear a voice say, "What can fill a room but takes up no space?"
Do we want to jump to Mason now? We have a
Nope.
thought.
It is to the both of you.
Plus, Mason's just chilling in
Empty
gooey
void.
blackness.
Yep.
He just
Oh.
cross-legged, like, man, I could use a deck of cards right now.
That
Yeah,
just
he's
sucks.
kind of cut off from
Worst
everything as
outcome,
he's
to be honest.
being perceived as a threat because he can't take over.
He's just twiddling his thumbs.
Mhm.
Okay.
He'll find me eventually,
Uh.
I think. I hope.
He is looking.
Darkness. Oh,
Nox
there's
would
a
just
lot
start
of
listing things like silence, tension,
things. Like,
misery, light, dark.
As you say
Don't get
light,
smart with me.
he goes, "Correct."
the best
And
riddles have
Fenrir-
infinite answers.
In front of your eyes, Nox, as you're attempting to do two things at once, basically turns into marbles. And
Like the rolling
all of
kind?
them slide to the floor. And Fenrir,
You know
you
that-
wake up tied to a chair in another room.
You know that
He's just gonna yell,
Kind
"Oh,
of.
fuck you."
you know that kind of expression that like characters get on their face when something doesn't go to plan and they're just like eyes wide, jaw slightly open, like what?
Man,
just
Nox, all I
happened?
did was kill you. Why'd you turn me into marbles?
Yeah.
You have Midas's touch, but different.
The marvelous touch.
Okay.
Yeah, when Nox is just there, like.
After that happens, and after you gain a
What'd I
somewhat
do?
composed yourself again, you hear the door that Fenrir went through creak open. Do you go through?
Hmm.
I think that's a yes.
I don't know. He's thinking.
No, there was a hesitant yes.
Oh, was there? I didn't hear you.
It was an mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize it as a hesitant yes. You go through, same thing happens, door slams, but the environment is different now. The environment is the same that Fenrir saw. jail cells everywhere. However, where he had choices of movement to go after entering this door, the only option you have is to go left.
Well, only option.
Which, if you really think about it, that kind of makes it straight.
No?
Would I be going straight across from where I turned right to the opposite side, or would I be
Nope.
turning left back down the way I came?
Nope. You'd be going deeper. I have it all mapped out right in front of me.
Perfect.
I am following the map that I have drawn. I know exactly where you are and what direction you guys are going in. You guys are not
I'm glad
backing.
one of us do.
You guys aren't backing on yourselves. As you turn left and go down the pathway, at a certain point you see a way to go. But then it partitions itself off. As you continue forward, you turn left again, and you see another room. Well, you see another door. Sorry. This door has a piece of paper attached to it.
Saying door.
Mm-hmm. Same door.
What's the bit of paper?
As you grab the piece of paper and unfold it, it says, "Answer this riddle, and the door will open." You have no choice. As you look behind you, you are now trapped in this hallway between the door and a wall, which has now appeared a foot behind you.
I thought that just was the riddle. You have no choice.
Nope. On the bottom scrolls the riddle. What breaks yet never fails, and what fails... I read this thing wrong. Let's start over again. What breaks yet never falls, and what falls yet never breaks? Don't Google the answer.
I'm not.
Like, it takes time to think about these things.
I know. I I was afraid
Just
for a
like-
second that you were hastily just typing out the thing into Google.
No, it's because I was literally googling an unimpressed picture of that character that I use as mine in human form.
Oh,
He's got a lot of those.
yeah.
That's his
dude.
default expression.
Yeah. No, so I thought I knew it until you said the second bit, like, because what breaks but never falls, I thought day,
No.
but,
Yeah, false. So you said fails
Um,
for a minute, and I said fails by mistake.
So, breaks but never falls. And falls but
Uh-huh.
never breaks.
I hope the first one is not summer.
Mm-mm.
Bear in mind, I'm English, so it better not be anything to do with seasons, because fall is not something we have over here.
Nope.
I'm usually good with riddles.
Can I guess?
Nope.
Oh.
You can text me individually if you want to try to figure it out.
Or you can text me individually.
I'm just
No,
gonna,
don't do that.
I'm gonna hint it to Knox. Let's go.
Don't cheat.
Do it. Okay.
Resist the temptation.
Line.
Struggling there. Would you like a hint? It will cost you.
He's just like
I just
glaring at the
messaged
note
DM
on the door.
my answer.
Don't react.
Oh. I mean, like I said anything.
Whilst Nox is figuring this out and thinking to himself, Fenrir, I have a technical question for you really quickly about D&D.
Sure.
So, for Semitic components, you theoretically only need one arm, correct?
Yeah. You
Okay.
only need one free arm.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
What will it be?
See, waves break. Waves. But they don't. Water.
Incorrect.
I don't think you can fulfill both at the same time. They are kind of opposites.
Shush. No hints.
But I mean, like, right?
I gave him the opportunity to get a hint.
Like,
No hints. If he doesn't want to pay the price for a hint,
Was I somewhere?
Doesn't have
Was
to.
I somewhere in the right place with my first guess for the first clue?
what was the first guess?
Because when you said "what breaks but never falls," I said day.
I didn't even hear you say that. Yes, you are.
Day and night.
Correct.
That's two things.
It was.
yeah, but like that's why I was like, it can't be one thing because that's what like how could it possibly be?
I
one
never
thing?
said it was one thing.
It does imply that it
Riddles
wants
as a
an answer,
general
and that's why it's
are
kind of like, oh, like I don't know.
one thing that applies to all.
Riddles are weird like that. Like the problem is, do you
It's like the
do you
unspoken-
know have
yeah,
the
I
same
suppose it's
assumptions as
unspoken.
them?
Exactly. These
Yeah,
are pre-written.
because like the first
I
thing
didn't write any of
when you
these.
said when you said what breaks but never falls, the first thing I said was when I heard the first bit, I thought it was day, but it doesn't make sense for the second bit.
Yeah, I came up to the same thing, but I'm like,
'Cause
okay,
day
this
doesn't
can't be one
fall.
thing because that doesn't make sense. So they're probably two related things, things you would list together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
see, that's the,
when you say that, the door opens, you are pulled into it, and it slams behind you. You are now in a barracks of sorts. There are bunk beds lining the walls in a militaristic fashion. The windows on the far end of the room are shattered and broken, boarded together. Stuff is everywhere. The room is a complete mess, as if a tornado just had recently passed through it.
does it look in any way familiar?
No. Not to you.
He would walk slowly through it, looking for anything that sort of stands out, I guess.
A single picture.
Surprised by the change in scenery.
A single picture stands out.
Looks at picture.
As you
Oh,
pick
no.
up the picture, a memory goes into your own mind. This person, who is being possessed, was once in the military. He served his service for his country. He is now at the ripe old age of 45 and is nearing the end of his life span. as a human. Because
The
back
end
in
of
these
his
days, they
life.
didn't have medicine that kept people alive past their 30s or 40s. So,
Even in the southern high-tech
yeah.
region.
Yep. Definitely have medication to extend it a bit, but not by the amount that, we could be able to. But as you look at the photo, you see a familiar face from what you saw in the Bone Demon's memories. You see the Bone Demon standing arm in arm with several other people. Whilst you know this is not him, you know it is someone. You are within the mind of someone within this picture. They fought in a great war. A terrible war. A war that pushed back the borders of the Uncharted Land. A war waged in secret that no one speaks of.
So, bone devils are like 10 feet tall. So I just find the idea of one being arm in arm with a bunch of humans is
Bear
hilarious.
in mind that the bone
This-
demon we met was in the guise of a humanoid
Yes.
at the time that we met.
Yeah, but I
And-
presume it's not the guy that he disguised as.
No, it is of his actual form, which Nox knows from his own memories
Oh, because he
of
used
what
to be
he
a person.
looked like beforehand.
Okay, so these are all people.
Nox can gain the memory that this was probably before he was turned into such a monstrosity, before he willingly got turned into it.
All right, that makes more sense.
Because this, as you look at the photo is years old.
At least 3.
At least 20. As you look around the room again, next to the table where you got the picture from is another door. However, to your left is a crack in the wall.
Big enough for me to get through.
No. It is as if there was... It's a small... Okay, so it's narrow yet lengthy.
Does it look like it's a crack in the wall that would be present in this building, or is it more like a crack in the fabric of the memory?
As you take a closer look at it, and you try to look through it, you can see an inky black void beyond it.
Why are you doing this? He would sort of mutter to himself as he turns back towards the door.
You go through the door.
And then, no, he would pause and go back to the crack in the wall, and he would look at it for a second. Could he get his fingers into the crack?
Yes, you can get like a couple fingers. You can't
Shadows
like
on
go
my
far
domain.
enough for like your whole hands, but like your fingertips, you could definitely like get in there.
Yeah, he would literally mutter to himself. He'd put his fingers in and he would say, "Shadows are my domain." And he would try and reach in and connect to the shadow.
Mm-hmm. Just realized I wasn't wearing headphones this whole time. I'm an idiot. I do this sometimes. I forget to wear headphones because the speaker for the sound is like right next to the microphone, so everything gets duplicated in the recording.
Mm.
Anyways, so, what are you gonna try to do?
Assuming that this shadow is the consciousness of whatever has possessed this guy, he's going to try and get hold of it. More aggressive. Like, he's played this the passive route, now he's going to play it the more aggressive route.
So you're gonna try to rip through the wall?
In a sense, though more flow through it, like, because he's aware that he's not a physical entity in this. He knows he's in someone or something's mind.
As you attempt to do that, you hear a voice go, You can't do that here.
I am just as unwelcome in this mind as you are.
I'm having a swimming time. I'm just glad I have more playthings.
Well, I can play too. He would push harder.
Roll me a strength check.
Oh god, really? Strength?
Yep.
In a mental battle?
Strength.
Suppose I could still get lucky and get a 20. Nope, that's a 3.
Looks like you're not strong enough to force this open, but maybe I can give you a little help if you answer another riddle.
How long must I play your games?
Just attack him. Roll
Well.
initiative.
Because you're leaving yourself wide open, why don't I just hop in your mind? We can play games all day, all night. Until
Not
you're at
fine.
death's door.
You would not find me so defenseless as this one.
Oh, really? Because you're leaving your mind wide open. The only person whose mind has been closed off has been Mason's.
True, but I can't imagine he's trying to get in your mind either.
Which is why I've locked him away in a special little cage where he can do no damage. A cage which you're trying to open. I don't appreciate that.
I see, so actually the way to damage you is to close myself off. Thank you for the information.
Well, not entirely. I can still do a great deal of psychological damage to you. If I were to attack. And right there and then, a short sword goes straight through your chest. And you take 2 points of psychic damage.
You'd sort of grunt of irritation. It says, fair enough, you could wear me down eventually.
Precisely.
What is your purpose with all this? You must know your time is limited in this vessel.
Oh, very much so, but once he dies, I get to consume. And then I gain strength to possess someone even stronger. Now,
Mox get quite
for the
uncomfortable at
riddle.
that.
I am always hungry and will die if not fed. But whatever I touch will soon turn red. What am I?
Fire.
Correct. You got that one quite easily.
I had that one halfway through. I thought I'd just let you finish.
How rude. Next time won't be so easy.
Time to hold up your end.
Maybe I will and maybe I won't. Since you found that so easy, maybe I'll meet you halfway. And the crack opens up, and you find a small path, and then a great ravine, and another small path, and a door.
Yep. Oh.
Another riddle will open the path. Would you like to play?
Like and must are two different things. Get on with your games.
A man looks at a painting in a museum and says, "Brothers and sisters, I have found none. But that man's father is my father's son." Who is in the painting?
Say it again.
A man looks at a painting in a museum and says, "Brothers and sisters, I have none. But that man's father is my father's son." Who is in the painting? I gave you a harder one this time.
Yeah, you did. Christ.
I mean, I'm over here just like, wait, this is. I feel like it's just a lot of words.
It is a lot of words.
That's the hardest part. Like just like comprehending a
Here.
paragraph.
Instead of hearing it again and again, I'm going to post it
Yeah,
in
please, because
the chat without the answer so you can see.
I was gonna type it into a note, and then I thought, no, you'll think I'm googling it.
Don't you dare.
I mean, it's not like I feel like it's not that hard, right?
I think it's pretty difficult. I don't think I'd be able to do this without the answer.
I don't know. I have no clue. Mason's just playing solitaire by himself in the inky void.
Mason, you can hear everything that's going on. As you look over, you see an open doorway with knocks at an edge coming towards you on a path. As you approach the doorway, though, you cannot break through.
I'm just calling, Knox! Knox, can you hear me?
Knox cannot hear you.
God damn it. As Mason's just trying to calm down, just remember, keep your mind closed. Do not let those try to enter through weakness.
Oh, really, Mason? Let me in. Let me have some fun.
Fenrir is gonna try and break his chair.
Alright, I'll swap over to Fenrir whilst they do.
This is
You
gonna take me
break
a
the
while.
chair, and you are in a doorless room. All metal walls and ceiling. The floor made of stone. Why can't you be a good little boy, Mason? And just wait?
Because ever since I was a little kid, I always liked to break shit and figure out how
I'm
things
sorry,
work.
I didn't mean Mason. I meant Fenrir. That was my fuck
Oh,
up there. I
I
meant
feel like you
Fenrir.
say the same thing. Uh,
I meant Fenrir. I did not mean you. I'm sorry.
oh
Sorry
no.
for the confusion. Mason just spewed out of my mouth without me even thinking right there and then.
It's because it fits so well. Jeez, Mason, just sit down and be friendly.
Anyway,
I am
no.
trapped in a big empty
Fenrir.
void, so you said.
He says this to you.
Why can't I just sit down and wait?
Yeah, why can't you be a good little boy and just sit and wait? Why do you have to break your chair? Why can't you patiently wait for Nox to come and rescue you?
You're
Or
hoping
would you
for me
like
to be
tortured?
You're hoping for me to be good, then you're barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, good. Open yourself up to me. Let me inside.
He's gonna try to do something a little bit illogical and just take out a sword and this time focus on just getting like inhumanly angry.
You do so.
And just attack walls and the floor.
Ding, 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 ding. Nothing happens.
Oh darn! I thought this place was held together by emotions.
Let me in, Fenrir. Let
I mean,
me
he's just
in.
like he is
Let's
just being
have
a
some
mindless
fun.
emotional ball, so he's not exactly doing anything. Like you know how monks would control themselves? He's doing the exact opposite right now.
Come on, let me in. Let
Like
me
so, I
in.
imagine that it basically does let him in. Was my point, right?
Thank you. Fenrir, you no longer have control of your character for the moment.
Ah, but he went full werewolf too.
As he takes control of your body, you feel like a backseat passenger who is chained and locked up in silver and cannot move or speak or do anything. All you can do is watch.
I want him to have to deal with werewolf emotions.
Nox, as you're trying to figure this out, he goes, "It turns out I won't need you to figure it out anymore. I've gained a body. Strong in what I need." As Fenrir comes out of the abyss, and Mason, what was blocking you before is no more, and you are all in this abyss, and he goes, "Face me, you fools," as he takes out Fenrir's sword.
So can Noxie Mason as well?
Yes.
I'm guessing if
The door kind of melts away, and Mason appears behind it.
Okay, I'm guessing as well if he actually spoke using Fenrir's body, it's very, very obvious that it's not actually Fenrir.
Yes, he used Fenrir's body to speak. When Fenrir appeared in front of you. When he was still not in front of you, he spoke kind of as a baseless voice. But now that Fenrir is in front of you, he speaks through Fenrir.
Using Fenrir's voice or his own voice?
Fenrir's voice.
Try and growl it.
Now I don't know how to do it. I tried, I failed. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Are we ready?
Nox would just say to Mason, "Be wary, that is not Fenrir." So,
Looks like he let him in. Damn it.
indeed.
This bind wasn't that hard to break. I could have entered it when you first entered. But I wanted to have some fun. Now then.
He smells some like flesh, and it's very enticing, kind of distracting actually.
He would again say to Mason, "Please tell me you have some silver."
May I
still
have
have
you
the book.
all roll initiative? Fenrir, I'll have you control your character in combat.
I did want one thing is Fenrir is extremely well trained, and I don't expect the ghost to.
Yeah, he's
Have
not
access.
well
Do that?
trained in your abilities. He probably. So
The fact he
just so
drew
you
the
know-
sword said a lot.
Yeah, he drew
I mean,
the
but
sword.
he can. But,
The most he could probably do is change into hybrid, meaning just having the claws and the fangs.
Oh, but I mean anyone can draw a sword and kind of use it. Fenrir is particularly battle style, battle master trained, and that's not something I would have expected to carry over.
It doesn't. However, you notice that he is also very Battlestar, as he strikes a pose unfamiliar to you, but is very reminiscent of someone who is trained for years with the sword.
Okay.
I suppose
So,
Fenrir
and this
is
is mostly for
unaware
my
of the fact that he's
roleplay
currently in a
use, by the
military
way.
person's body or mind.
I'm sorry, Nox, go ahead.
I suppose Fenrir is unaware of the fact that he's been hosting in a military personnel's mind for however long.
I think you got confused for a minute. Okay. Let me clarify. The memories you saw were of the person, not the spirit.
Yeah. So if he's been inhabiting that person, surely he would have learnt from them.
Maybe,
Because you said
maybe
he
not.
consumes their memories.
But the spirit could be however many old. He could have been alive and studied swordsmanship on his own.
Fair enough. I was just
So
trying
just
to
for
follow
my
logic
my
trail.
use, I won't do Fenrir signatures, but I will just attack like a marshal.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I basically want you to do.
Cool.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna start it. Fenrir goes first. And let's say you all at this point are equal distance 20 feet away from each other.
And as I recall, the spirit saw Mason as the bigger threat.
Because
why'd
he
you have
could
to say
close
that
his
out loud?
mind, yes.
Yes.
Not combat-wise, but possession-wise.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't. It was kind of. I was about to say I wasn't trying to throw you in the firing line there, but I kind of was.
uh,
I'm probably the squishiest out of all of us.
I still
So
want to. Some of my actions are going to be based off of him dealing with werewolf emotions. I hope that's fine.
That's fine.
So he's going
That's a
to.
fair point. How would a spirit handle that kind of turmoil?
So he seems to have a really solid stance, like a trained battle magician, but then charges forward, overly excited, and swings a couple of times at the closest person.
They're all equal distance, so choose what
I
makes
right
them
now
much.
on roll 20, it seemed like one was closer, so I went there.
Oh, I didn't even bring up roll 20. Okay. I will. I will just move
Okay,
people.
you can move him.
Yeah, let me just move people to equal distance apart. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I guess at that point he'll
So
go
equal
here
distance
and just
apart.
swing wildly with a little bit of a snarl.
So he goes towards Mason. As you do so, like, joyfully, Mason, you see a very it's joyfully, but it's very sinister. It's very much of an evil, like, yes, going for you. 17 hit.
hold up. I am going to use a bardic cutting words to hopefully reduce it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That is a 6, so. And what was it?
17,
Yeah,
so
that's
does
11
11
now.
hit?
No, 14.
Cool. One more attack. 27?
Definitely hits.
Go ahead and roll damage.
11.
This is
Okay,
all psychic damage. None of it is physical. I will put that out
yeah,
there.
so down a quarter of my health already.
What?
Nox, your turn.
I'm down a quarter health already. I told you I'm squishy.
Oh, the options. I know what I'd usually do, but I don't think it's going to work in someone's mind. Especially when they're possessed. Okay, well, I mean, I'm assuming we have everything with us that we had.
Yeah.
I remember picking up some silvered arrows before. So, I'm going to take my Hellfire Longbow. Back away as I fire a silvered shot off at Fenrir. So if I'm 20 feet away, I would probably back another 20-25 feet away. And yeah, fire off a shot. Which is 15 to hit.
Does that hit?
Beats it.
And that is 9 piercing damage and whatever the silver does to it.
That's
As the silver arrow pierces in, he cries out in pain and goes, "This body is useless, but it will give me the means to kill you all."
Only if you act fast enough.
Go ahead and roll me a. Or actually, I'll do it on Fenrir's sheet. Fenrir, go ahead and take 4 more damage for the silver.
Okay, wait. What do you mean?
Psychologically.
So I'm only taking 4 damage?
No, you're taking the 9, but also the 4.
So normally,
13.
silver, it makes me vulnerable, which doubles it.
Oh, okay. I forgot about
So
that.
I expect, like, I'm okay with, like, damage working differently in mind or whatever, but
No, we'll go by normal rules then. We'll just double
Yeah,
it.
because I wasn't familiar with how werewolves work, because obviously.
Yeah, I
this one,
forgot that it made you vulnerable.
yeah, I'm
That
vulnerable.
was just something
like,
that I forgot.
in a lot of cases, I'm either immune to damage or vulnerable to damage, which is quite the heavy swing.
Yeah.
So that would be 18.
To be 18 damage.
I am not bloodied.
Alright, Nox is at the end of your turn.
So retroactive, not moving back at all, and sending the Firebird to hover beside Mason.
That's Fenrir. That you just put it next to.
There we go.
There you go. Alrighty. Is it
No,
going to do
teleport
anything
him
in
away.
particular?
I'd
or-
circle around a little bit. Not on this turn.
Okay. Mason, your go round.
Okay.
I'd just say it would follow him.
Mm-hmm. Mason.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking real quick. I'm probably right here going to try to do a booming blade attack.
Uh-huh.
Hope to God this works. 22.
Does that hit?
Yes.
I would be sorely impressed if it didn't.
Oh man, no, the 15 hit, but 22 is too low.
That's what I mean. It's like, whoa, this guy's broken.
9 plus sneak attack. 6, that's 15, and I said booming blade, so that's a d8.
That's magical
19.
and thunder.
Guess it's thunder damage for the
Okay,
magical
how much?
hit. Everything else is just piercing.
That's all.
Regular.
Okay. So I would take that 1.0 times. Just regular damage.
Mm-hmm.
Would you being attacked by silver in the same round doesn't make you vulnerable to all damage? It's just the silver damage.
No, this subrace is just vulnerable to damage from silvered weapons.
Okay.
I believe
It's
also,
not like an effect.
though,
It's just
magic just goes through automatically, though.
like I'm immune to non-magical attacks and
Yeah.
vulnerable to silvered ones.
Wait. What rapier are you using?
Presume
Well, I couldn't attune to the vengeance one,
Mm-hmm.
so I just used the regular one.
Does the vengeance one only give you the +1 when you're attuned to it?
It should still be a magic weapon either way.
Yeah, it should still be a magic weapon either way. So if he used that weapon, so if you use the magic weapon, then it technically counts.
Yeah, but I didn't attune to it. I
But
haven't
you're
just,
fine.
Like,
Yeah, it's still
Okay.
a +1. The attunement is for the curse.
Well, the attunement is for the +1,
wield 'em,
but I
stick
think
'em
it's
with
still a
both.
magic weapon either way.
Okay.
But I think he might just not get the +1, but it's still a magic weapon.
Okay.
okay.
So we'll keep
then-
that roll as long as
Mason's
you're okay with
acupuncture.
using the unattuned vengeance weapon. But can you
Yeah.
repeat the damage total?
It's total
Uh,
19.
Yeah.
19. Okay. I am bloodied. Or he'll
Okay.
reach it more.
So I will also back away 30 feet and cause fancy footwork, no opportunity attack. And I
Did
think
you? Are you able to move yourself?
Oh, he's not in.
yeah, I don't know like which tab to hit to go to see where you guys are at.
Oh, we're in Roll20 at this point now.
Okay.
Did the bird move too, or is that
Well,
gonna
the
move later?
bird was the bird was instructed to follow, so
Oh, he's moving on his turn.
So
Alright.
Okay. I mean, I could leave it there, but it.
I mean, I use bonus action to command it to follow.
Yeah.
I guess it could use its reaction to move with him.
Technically, yeah. And it's not in range, so you wouldn't be able to opportunity attack it.
Yeah, I'm just saying like, oh, so it's using its reaction to move to him. It's not like
Yeah. We'll say
doing
that.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Skip over the blank enemy that I just put in so that I can make this encounter. Fenrir, your turn.
Now, hold up. I would like to use a bonus action real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to bonus action healing word myself at 2nd level. 8 points. So looking better.
Okay.
So the ghost sees like the booming blade magic like go over his skin, and it kind of he's like, oh, I shouldn't move, but then he sees a flicker of motion from his side, and then on pure instinct moves over this way, like just kind of leaps.
Max damage 16.
It just kind of explodes.
Is weak, and I knew I should have locked you up.
But he'll still get 2 swings at Nox. 19
hit.
Definitely.
15 damage. Magical slashing.
Okay.
So
then
for the
17 to
second
hit?
one,
Okay, for the second one.
Oh, 17. Yes, that does hit. Unless Nox wants to do a reaction.
Or
actually, I want to do a reaction to
Yeah.
reduce it again. Bardic
Cool.
Inspiration.
Sorry, repeat the damage, because I was tired.
so the first damage was 15. Second one might miss depending on the bard.
Yeah, that's a 10
7
now.
does miss.
7.
So the second attack doesn't go through.
Okay, so
Cool.
15 damage.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Lucky for you, Nox, it is your turn, and yes, I will allow you to do this, but you are going to have to make. Okay, Fenrir.
Mhm.
I'm gonna need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw against Nox's.
Shouldn't the ghost make that?
What is it?
My mentals are not really in control
But
at
he's
the
in
moment.
you.
But he is in you. Yes, that is true.
So would it be a contested wisdom?
It would be against your save DC.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
sorry,
would,
I was
like
in
I
thought.
was thinking the ghost's wisdom would be better fit because I'm not.
It's true. Okay.
I can still roll the d20 if you want me to, but I just
yeah,
didn't want
go
to
ahead
like.
and roll the d20.
7.
Nox, what do you want to do to him?
Right. Okay, so
Better not be
going
flirting.
through the range of things. Basically, Nox would sidestep, risking an attack of opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
he'll
just
take
gonna.
it. The ghost will take it.
Yeah, even on just pure instincts, he's attacking the thing closest to him.
Yeah.
Ah, crit fail. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
See, meant to be. Then he would raise his hand in the air and snap his fingers, and the bird would fiery teleport Mason to his side.
Like right here.
Probably.
More like here.
Yeah.
Alright.
And the second you arrive, you would feel a vice-like grip on the back of your neck, and Nox would lean really close, and he would literally say, "Bind him with silver," and then you would feel him yank back on the back of your neck, throwing you backwards, both mentally and in the physical world, out of the salt circle, breaking your shadow connection to him.
As
Alright.
that happens, just going back to the real world, as this happens, friggin' Zardath jumps and she's like, interesting. I didn't know he could do this. Okay, new developments. And she writes down in a little book.
I
Hi,
would also
Mason,
say
how's it
that
going?
if you actually look at
Silver.
Nox,
Silver.
he's got-
Bind him with silver.
He's got a
Um,
nosebleed, like a major nosebleed going on.
Fenrir's
When
got
she
his own magic
pulls
sword. It's
out-
not silver, but
Like an ancient ritual dagger. And she's like, I believe this is silvered.
man, I was hoping that she pulled out pocket change.
I mean,
I got
Oh,
some
and I
silver
have a
pieces
few
right here.
silver coins.
We'll get some rope and attach the coins to them.
yay, craft time!
I don't have any rope.
What? You're an
I
adventurer and
think
you don't
Mason
have
has
rope?
some I think Mason actually does have some rope. Let me give.
Every adventurer has rope. For some reason.
Okay, let's just say I do. So I'm just gonna take the rope, and like start like adding the coins to like the grooves of it, so, like the inside. Just do my best to like connect these silver coins to the rope and just start tying up Fenrir with it.
Is she
That's hilarious.
not curious as to why you're tying him up?
I always imagine silver pieces as dimes for some reason.
Yeah,
Well, she
I
knows
do,
that
and I'm
he's a
English.
werewolf, so I kind of figured like, oh, he's gonna like go wild or something.
Yeah. Do you do anything with the ritual dagger?
Keep it to my side just in case.
As you tie it, Nox, in the dream world, you see his skin start to like boil in spots where the coins lied on his skin and the rope. And he's like, this body is weak. And he expels himself out of Fenrir's body inside of here, and he goes, maybe your body will be much more willing.
After
And
that
I'm gonna
fight,
need you to
have the
make
strength to
me a
take
wisdom
me on.
saving throw really quickly.
This could be ugly.
I hope you could beat a nat 20.
Oh, I got a 19.
And he goes
I can't remember the last time I
into
had
you
inspiration.
this time. And he goes, oh, so you're the one keeping them in here. Well, now that I have your body, what's the need for me to stay in this one? Since I can just...
Internally, he would just be like, I'm surprised you have the strength to keep this up.
Don't worry. I'm devouring you as we speak. And Nox. As this happens, you get out of the mind entirely. Fenrir, you are blasted out and you are burning. And
To be fair, he's gonna start yelling and he'll be like, "Fuck! Why is it always bindings?"
Mason, as you hear him say this, you realize that Fenrir is no longer possessed. Do you take him off?
I cut the rope with a regular dagger.
Yeah, you cut off the rope. And Nox comes out and he goes, "Isn't this surprising? Zaradath. Why, I wouldn't have expected you to be here, but since I get to kill you myself, it's all the surprise."
Can I continue to resist him at intervals?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Ah, wow, it's getting worse. I'm weakening!
And he did worse too.
How much
And you gain control for a minute. And Zardes sees this and says, "Use your flames, quick, before he gains back control."
She's talking to Mason.
Nope, talking to Nox.
Okay.
Fenrir was going to just basically start attacking. No more tricks.
Wait. Mason's just like, let him bite this.
Like, I have no idea what she means by use your flames. Am I gonna set myself on fire?
Harkening back to backstory.
Wait, but he doesn't know his backstory.
Harkening back.
I know some of it. Like, I've got... You're on about, like, the
Specifically,
tiefling...
your blood.
The tiefling heritage. Rain.
Remember, your
Long time
flames
ago.
inside of you are not only just fire.
Yeah, now you've lost me.
They were a gift passed down through the bloodline
Yes.
by a demonic lord. So they are
So I-
slightly demonic in nature,
Meaning I can literally set myself on fire?
meaning you
Only
can
devils-
set the spirits on fire.
Only devils can be immune to fire. Meh.
Okay, in that case, yeah, I would say almost in a fairy fire-esque fashion, he would probably drop to his knees, almost like he was in a sort of, in
Where
pain.
you
Sort of.
attempt to cast Fury Fire, instead you cast Produce Flame. And then Control Flame in the same instance, as you control it to engulf your own body. And you can hear the spirit within you say, "Oh, fuck. Less, why more hurt? Why can't you just leave me the fuck alone and let me possess you?" And he
Little did you realize we're
exits
all
out, partially on fire still, and leaves out of the inn entirely.
Random, but if he was going to dash out like that, and I knew I was going to attempt to eject him with the fire, could I opportunity attack try to grab him?
Go ahead. Roll me
With-
a straight up d20.
Is the
with my
ghost
hands that
immune
are
to
engulfed in
grappling?
flames. It's an 11.
He escapes.
Fair play. It was worth a shot.
Can the practically already attacking Fenrir attack the thing?
With the sword?
You guys are really vindictive against this one.
Yeah. I actually was thinking that Fenrir, he doesn't remember that fight. So he woke up in a cellar, broke out, moved around, woke up tied to a chair, had to move around, woke up tied down to a floor, had to move around.
Yeah, he's getting PTSD where it comes to spirits.
Like, this is just another room. It's all a trick.
And bear in mind, he didn't like magic either.
Magic is really weird.
So his experience of that is seriously like getting compounded.
I am actually like, are we trying to grab this thing? Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
I mean, for Nox.
No. Actually,
For
no.
Nox with his
Yeah, I'm like-
demon flame hands, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Flames, yes. Hand, no.
I think Fenrir might be like look like he's about to attack a random Nox right next to him, but then like a ghost literally pops out of it, so he'll swing at that instead. If we're okay, just skipping I don't know turns and just having stuff
Why
happen.
do I feel like I should make a dex save?
As you do so, your hand goes straight through.
Okay. Sure.
Nox would be visibly out of breath and sort of.
Do
like
we want to
on all
roll
fours
initiative?
panting.
Like, if not even for murder combat, just time? Doing things quickly in succession?
Huh?
Well, the spirit's gone. Everything's
Oh,
calmed
okay.
down now, so...
How do we get out of this room?
We're back. We're back.
We're back. You're back.
So, like, look around again and be like, oh, I did not remember being tied up.
It's okay. Mason did it when we still thought you were the one possessed.
Yes, Nox informed me to tie you up with silver. As you were possessed.
I was possessed.
Nox would like out of breath be like, "Yeah, sorry about that."
Yes, you
Good, buddy.
unintentionally
He'll literally
intentionally-
lift you and like put you back on your feet.
Yes, you either intentionally or unintentionally invited the spirit in your body.
I can't say I've ever dealt with spirits before. At least not the kind that are anything other than sad.
Did you learn anything whilst you were in there, Nox?
He's a prick.
Other than that.
I saw cells.
That was probably an illusion made by the spirit.
He trapped
So
me
the
personally
monsters-
because he saw me as a threat since I closed out my mind.
That was a little bit predictable on my spot. I should have thought of that.
He had ties to the bone demon.
This person here.
Devil.
Yes. They, at some point, I believe, the hosts served together.
Hmm.
I managed to access
Possible,
a fragment
but-
of his memory.
I'm not 100% sure. Did you learn anything else, or was the damage too much and he attacked you?
There was certainly damage, and he likes his riddles and his games.
Yes, well,
It's very
he-
powerful.
Yes, well, that spirit is... Spirits are very much tricksters. I'm surprised you were able to rip Mason out.
As am I, but it's amazing what you can do when certain things hang in the balance.
Are you aware of why you had no control this time?
Because the mind was already imprisoned?
Yes and no. When you go into someone's mind unwillingly, their consciousness tries to invade the unconsciousness of which you enter. The unconsciousness uses most of its energy to keep the consciousness out, otherwise chaos ensues within the mind. Because of that, you have control over a lot of the mind's ability. The subconscious can try to distract you, try to block you out, but most of its energy is focused on the consciousness, keeping that out.
I thought
The
thoughts were all
spirit
scale.
does not require to keep the consciousness out, and therefore it's able to dedicate its sole purpose, its sole energy, to combating all of you.
So it was singular and focused. The full strength of a mind.
Yes.
What do you think it will do now?
Well, now it's back in limbo. It may try to possess someone again in another 100 years. That burn that you put him on definitely will keep him out of commission for a while.
That's a relief. Insufferable.
Yes.
By the way, is Fenrir injured or just psychologically injured?
Mainly psychologically. The only physical injuries you have are from the silver coins,
Okay.
which are mostly healed back at this point.
I'm
like
psychologically
Yeah, we're not that
appearances-wise,
wealthy.
healed back. Psychologically, you are damaged.
Psychological damage.
We were not
they had
wealthy enough to
given
damage
D&D.
you too physically.
Did we get the information that you desire? Or are we just able to now?
Unfortunately, you did not. However, we will have to come back to that. Nox, you should know your abilities are gaining more strength than I anticipated. I never thought you would be able to do what you have done today.
I still felt weak in the face of him.
Well, you let him in after all. A spirit is very
intentionally.
strong in possession. It takes a lot of time, patience, and practice to keep someone of their caliber out.
I'm used to just opening up to invade someone else. I'm not used to having a countering force.
Yes. Although
I
these
must-
conditions are very specific.
I will have to somehow practice keeping my guard up while invading.
I wouldn't worry about that.
No.
Only unless the mind is invaded and taken over by a spirit will you have to do such. Like this one.
Very well.
Although,
this magic is
whilst
getting
you are
very
here,
complicated.
I would keep your mind closed as Mason does. Or another spirit will likely invade your minds.
Nox would look over to Mason and say, "Perhaps you'll have to teach me how you do that."
If I could, I'll try my best to teach both of y'all while we're here. A lot of spirits, that's how come I told y'all that you need to stay by my side.
Well, now I've encountered them as such, I will definitely heed your advice. It was a humbling experience.
Yes, very much so. I will know that whilst you were in there, I was able to, when he possessed one of you, I'm guessing Fenrir, he lifted the majority of the possession on the user. She motions over, you notice that the man is no longer blindfolded and earmuffed. He's now kind of just sitting there calmly watching the situation.
Nox would suddenly be he's only just noticed this guy's still in the room.
What form is Fenrir in?
Let's go hybrid.
And slightly smoking.
And he
Those-
says,
the room
"Don't
he's
worry,
He's just gonna growl out.
don't worry.
All right.
So without the possession, he's not a threat?
No, I am not. I'm still partially tired here because she needed you all to stay for me to stay in place for whatever you were doing.
Just your simple exorcism.
Yes, and I thank you for that. But I will say that yes, Nox, was it?
Hmm.
The image you saw of me with my fellow soldiers, that was a long time ago. I was back in my 20s then. We fought in a secret war. Some never returned. One of which I think you will recognize as the one who you faced. The one who turned into a bone demon.
Devil.
Devil.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Sorry.
Anywho, I knew him before. In fact, there was another that I knew before. Before they disappeared and before they re-emerged as something else. His name was Leodon. Last time I knew, he was headed towards the university. After that, I do not know.
We heard one had taken up residence there. Or was at least influencing activities there.
I do not believe that was him then. He is
I
not
see.
one of a cunning nature. I only know that he was headed towards that way. I do not know as to how far he got, or even if he made it to the university.
I see. By what way would he have travelled? What method, I mean?
The main road is the only way out of this country, so I assume the main road, but I would not know any further else details.
So if we head back by that route, with any luck, we will actually encounter him.
It is a possibility. However, like I said, I do not know how far he went. He could have gone as far as the Kraken's Republic for all I know.
So the university itself wasn't his destination.
No. He did not Sorry. He did not mention a destination.
Do you know his purpose?
I do not.
Well, that is something to go on at least.
Now then, would you please untie me?
Mason will look to Lady Aerodeth like, should we?
She'll nod her head.
Mason will go over and undo his bindings.
He kind of like rubs like his forearm where the restraint was, and he'll be like, "Thank you. If that will be all." And he leaves.
That man will be like, yeah, don't get possessed again.
I do not plan on it.
Nox would actually pause at that point and just say to him, "How did you encounter this spirit?"
I was within the graveyard. Someone I knew was buried there. I did not know who was talking to me. I thought it was possibly a mourning spirit over their death or the death of someone whom they loved who was buried here.
Just unfortunate circumstance then, I see.
Yes.
Very well. Be safe.
Thank you. And he leaves. Alright. Now that that's over, I believe I should be returning. I have work to be done.
But you said we needed to return. When?
I need to return.
To
You need to
get
go to
the knowledge
wherever
you want.
you are needed next.
Going with a bone devil sounds pretty important.
You've already done
Alright.
that.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Sounds to me like we may
Yeah,
have
tracing
enemies. And
his other ally.
Yeah, his other ally meant.
So heading back towards the university, seeking
Oh.
clues of his passing, and I'm guessing Nox knows his description by the image that he saw.
Yes.
So that'll give us something to go on.
Now, I must return beyond the invisible veil. Mason, I will be unreachable at this point.
Alright. I think we should be good with everything. Thank you again for Z refers to the rapier of vengeance.
Don't worry about it. It was a gift from the enchantress.
I have to go thank her myself before we dip.
She's already gone. She's already past the veil.
Damn.
I will pass the thanks on if I meet her.
Much appreciated.
Anything you would have us relay to the cat lady if we see her? I presume you know her.
Only that she's stupid for involving people. And for involving herself in this matter. You all should be left to this. Mortals are the ones who should be left to it. Although we are considered gods, we try not to meddle in the affairs of mortals, since we're technically immortal.
Thinner
So if
chuckles.
anyone asks, we didn't see you, right?
No, not exactly. I am allowed to meet with Mason,
Meddle.
as he is technically my ward, my apprentice, so we can say it was that. Just a meeting with my apprentice and his friends.
Nox just looks at Mason with an eyebrow raised.
Honestly, I don't know what else happened. I'm having trouble following.
Nox, I'll be honest. I've been under a teacher here for so long. It's best just to trust her word. She's never led me astray.
Anyways, I may never see you again. All of you. But I hope to one day. And she snaps both of her fingers, and a swirling mass of bluish green smoke goes all around her, dissipates, and she is gone.
I need to learn that trick.
Fenrir's
you'll-
gonna lean over and whisper, "I think she died."
I think Nox would just like go and sit on the chair that the guy was like chained to.
He wasn't chained to. It was just like ropes.
Yeah, sit on the prison
Yeah.
chair
Okay.
because he needs to
Mason's-
sit down. He's very
Mason's
mentally
just like-
tired.
He's gonna take off his hat and just kind of give a bit of a bow, and just kind of like say out loud, but more just to himself, "If this is our last time we see each other, it was an honor."
Fenrir will wander up after like giving you like 10-ish seconds and be like, "Mind if I pat you on the back?"
Sure, Fenrir, that's fine.
He'll just grab onto your back, like, you know, hand around one shoulder, and be like, "Still not alone. Got
Kind
us."
of rough, as if he's never done this before.
He has
Oh.
not been around very many people, but he has figured out that they like touching each other.
Yeah.
You know, Fenrir, I appreciate the act, but if this makes you uncomfortable yourself, you don't have to. It's the thought that counts.
Is that your way of saying this is making me really uncomfortable? Please stop.
No, he's feeling fine about it. He's more like Fenrir looks uncomfortable more than him.
Don't worry, as long as it's taking up all of my attention.
Well, as much as I would like to stay at home a little bit longer, I think we should be get going pretty soon.
Agreed.
On our journey to the college, Nox, I'll be teaching you some of the teaching Lady Aerodeth told me about how to block your mind.
That would be greatly appreciated. I do not like being that vulnerable.
And as we start getting a move on, Fenrir is gonna ask questions that make it seem like he does not understand that concept in the slightest.
And that.
Mason will do his best to explain everything.
And that is where we are going to leave it for today. That was fun. That was great. All right, we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
God, you weren't kidding
Later.
about trauma.
Mm.